And good afternoon and welcome into the ARMS North American Open October 2020, part of the Nintendo versus Autumn series here. Welcome in, Jordan Kent. I am your Punch by Punch host, and joining me, we have two of the finest commentators in all the land. Let's get started with our first one. He's got a mean right hook, but he'll dap you up with the left. My man, EE, what are you looking forward to today?
I am looking forward to a lot of things, actually. Obviously, it's been like 2 months that we got to commentate an ARMS event, so I'm very excited for that. And I'm just trying to see, can anyone take down Astro Ninja? I think that's the big question for me, so I'm eager to get that answered by the end of today's show.
Yes, certainly is a big question to see if anybody can dethrone the king, our other commentator. You've seen him at plenty of high-level ARMS tournaments. A man so hyped, the rush meter is always full. We've got our man, Coney. Coney, what are you looking forward to when we take a look at these top four players out of nearly 350 participants?
Oh, you flatter me. So I was actually looking at the list, and, you got names like Astro Ninja, Para. You've got the sort of the heavy hitters. But the one guy that I've been really looking at, he's sort of the dark horse for this event, is Jean-Marc. That is who I am the most excited to see. I want to see how fast he can tear through the bracket if he's able to make it. I do know that on one side of the bracket, we're going to get a repeat of the finals that we saw before with Astro Ninja and Para. So I think safe money is that we might see those two in top two, but I'm really looking to see Jean-Marc make an impact in this bracket today.
Well, as we said, top four of nearly 350 participants, along with bragging rights. They'll be fighting their way for first place. Our champion today, they'll get 10,000 My Nintendo Gold points, and our three runner-ups will each receive 5,000 My Nintendo Gold points, respectively. Let's take a look at the bracket here and see what kind of traffic will navigate our way to grand finals. And right at the top here, Coney, a pair of heavyweights, Astro Ninja, who we mentioned before, looking for that potential three-peat, facing off against Para. These two saw each other in the August 2020 grand finals.
Yeah, I think the safe money, I think if you're a betting man, these two are probably the guys that are going to be in grands, but crazy stuff has happened. We've seen some people take down Titans before in these ARMS events, so interested to see what happens on the other side when Jean-Marc is going to be going up against the Goof.
And EE, just a little bit more on Para. Obviously, Astro Ninja is the heavy favorite coming into this, but Para has shown a very, very impressive competitive history. And you look at someone that isn't afraid of the big stage and certainly won't back down from the challenge of taking on Astro Ninja.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Para is a very decorated in his own right. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at his win over Pega. You know what I'm saying? He's like one of only two people who's done that. Okay, a Japanese legend in ARMS. So we know Para is capable. And if you recall the last time they faced off, you can argue that Para was building up steam and Ramen Bowl might have been the thing that kind of short-circuited. Yes. I don't think that's around for this particular time. So Para, he just needs to relax, play his game. He has just as good a shot as Astro Ninja, in my opinion. It's just putting the pieces together to get the W.
Well, let's talk about the rules here as we dot our I's and cross our T's. It is a double elimination bracket, so we will have a loser's bracket and a chance for someone to reset it if they get to grand finals. It'll be the best of 5 rounds in every single match here today. It'll be 99 seconds on the timer. All arms are available. All characters are available. And, of course, no items. The stages, it will be random selection from a set of curated stages as well, too. And you mentioned no Ramen Bowl, a couple of surprises, a couple of change-ups from that August 2020 North American Open. Now, EE, when we look at high-level play, so much of it seems to come down to mobility and evasiveness. It seems to play a huge role when we take a look at how both of these fighters in these matches are going to square off against one another. And so once again, as we get set for this matchup here, as we were talking to EE about that evasiveness, Coney, I want to ask you, you look at what we see here with these top players and the fact that so much of it comes down to patience and a lot of times looking for that opportunity. What can you say about the patience that you need to display when you get to this type of competition?
So much of high-level ARMS play is centered around that rush. It's around the rush mechanic, getting as much damage as you can. So really what it comes down to in that scenario is having the full rush available and landing it. We've seen so many tournaments won and lost by whoever's using their rush more efficiently, who's a little bit more discerning, who sits back and waits to pull the trigger on that. I think it's so important to know when to pick your shot, swing it, whatever pitch you get. And that doesn't come all the time because with these high-level players, sometimes you can seem like you're leaving an opening. Somebody throws out the rush, and then you just clock them right on the head, and then they got to build a whole new one. So patience is of the utmost importance in this game.
All right, bob your head if you can hear me now. I want to ask you about
Sorry
the
about that.
evasiveness. It's all good. It's all good, man. We can go ahead and pick ourselves up off the canvas here before we get going. But I want to hear your thoughts on evasiveness and how important it is when we take a look at some of these matches today.
Well, I think it's tremendous, really, because we have plenty of data that shows, like, if you can go ahead and kind of like dictate the range, stay out of people's way, and make them have to come to you, like, evasive play is so important, especially when we've seen Dr. Coyle, right? That's the go-to character, a character that naturally already levitates and just has a variety of ways to just kind of it really just frustrates you when it comes down to it. So really got to kind of taper your arms to what you think is going to either like allow you to kind of get in and beat that strategy, or if you're on the other end with Dr. Coyle, enhance it, right? Keep things away, keep players at bay, and maybe just frustrate them into victory. We've seen Astro Ninja apply this several times, and I think that's going to be the go-to strategy again.
All right, we're getting set for our first matchup here between Astro Ninja and Para. And as we get set for those two to take center stage here, Coney, I do want to go to sort of the two underdogs when you look at Jean-Marc and Goof. And let's start with Jean-Marc here in just a moment. We'll get to that conversation because we got to put that on pause. We're getting ready to go here. And Para coming out with Kid Cobra facing off against Astro Ninja. And you love the Kid Cobra selection, Coney, for Para.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. We do know that he uses Springman and Ninjara mostly, but I think we did have a chance to see Kid Cobra, if I'm not mistaken, in the last event, unless that was a different player I'm thinking of. But we're going to have to see how he does against Dr. Coyle, who, of course, Astro Ninja has perfected her play as one of the strongest characters in ARMS.
Para getting the throw to open things up. Early lead here on Astro Ninja, and sometimes you have to take the fight to the champ, EE.
Absolutely. Like I said, evasiveness, that's just such a big key here. But you have a stage like this, this really allows Para to have an opportunity to pin Astro Ninja into a corner and take full advantage of that. You don't want to allow this guy to get a running start on you. You got to kind of hit him quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's what we're seeing from Para. He's already exploded, and he's got that rush meter, and he's just going to let that thing fly. Might actually get there it is, getting around. That's what you need to see out the gate. I love how Para approached that.
Para making a statement, a very convincing victory in that first round against Astro Ninja. We'll see if Astro Ninja will change things up. Astro Ninja rolling with that toaster. And of course, the Tri-Blast on that left arm for Dr. Coyle. Dr. Coyle knocking down Para early on. Para able to get back up and recover. Avoids a couple of arms. But rush attack coming out from Astro Ninja and connecting when he needs to. But not a terrific connection necessarily there, Coney.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse for Para. That didn't get as much damage as you normally see out of those arms. Para did have himself open. That's one of the sort of disadvantages of the arms that he has. I believe that's a bub on the left side. He does land a grab that's going to be 170, which is more than the 150 that most characters have. And Para, despite that initial setback, getting nailed by that rush, he's actually in the driver's seat. He has a rush of his own. He's going to let it rip, and it lands.
So Para, 2-0, going to go ahead and take the first game on Astro Ninja. And EE, Para really doing a fine job of keeping their distance from Astro Ninja. Never really felt that up-close pressure from Dr. Coyle and Astro Ninja, and just two very decisive victories out the gate, as you said.
No ramen bowl, no problem, okay? My man is like, you give me a stage where I can kind of corner him, I can get in there, there's not going to be too much of a gap, I can work with that. On top of that, he's using Kid Cobra, somebody with all the speed in the world. That, I feel like that first round was tailor-made for Para to take advantage of, and he did not disappoint.
And Coney, you expressed your surprise at Para using Kid Cobra to open things up, and you wonder if he learned some things from his previous matchups against Astro Ninja and went to the lab during these 2 months since the August 2020.
Oh, sure, and these guys have got to be meeting in finals over and over. These are two of the best players in the game, so they've been studying each other so much. And whereas Dr. Coyle, I think, has so many different tools and sort of playstyle versatility to be able to respond to pretty much any character, Kid Cobra might be that niche counter pick that Para needed. That first game looked so dominant. Astro Ninja, of course, no slouch. He's able to adapt and overcome. We'll see if he can do it, but this rush is not going to help him out as he gets nailed. Doesn't land any damage off it.
Yeah, both fighters not able to take advantage of their rush attacks, and with Via Dolce a little bit more room to maneuver for Dr. Coyle around some of those corners, using those well here, EE, to avoid some of the direct arms coming out from Para and Kid Cobra. But with just under 50 seconds left, a pretty square match. Astro Ninja finally able to land an attack, and it seems like we're seeing a little bit more patience from Astro Ninja as once again Para doing a great job, EE, of stopping those rush attacks.
Well, I'll tell you what, Astro Ninja, we already know the name of the game for him has always been patience. That's something you're going to expect to see him execute. But Para, he's just matching pretty much blow for blow. Actually, with his rush and opportunity to strike, did get a little bit, but not certainly as much as he would have liked. But I'll tell you what, Via Dolce, I think just these tight kind of corners are definitely aiding out Astro Ninja and keeping his space and distance.
Astro Ninja with the health advantage at 10 seconds. Now it's going to force Para really into a corner here to be aggressive. Astro Ninja with a rush meter ready to go. Probably going to save that for this next round. Can Astro Ninja hold out? Gets the KO with 1 second left. Go ahead and finish things strong there for Astro Ninja. So Astro Ninja taking their very first round against Para as we get set in this October 2020 North American Open. We saw the glove change as well too for Astro Ninja, but now going back to what we see here, the Tri-Blast and the Bub here, Coney.
Yeah, I do think that the stage is more important than the arms, if I'm being honest here. If you watch the way that Astro Ninja is playing, he's always in the curve. And what that means is you see how he can use the entire length of Via Dolce to his advantage, always stay on his back foot. And if Para does try to step in, as he's doing here, if he's trying to get in, what Astro Ninja can do is just corner him and put him in the pocket, as you saw there, stopped his rush, and now Astro Ninja can just sort of lay on, be a little bit more aggressive. I think this is tailor-made for Dr. Coil against Kid Cobra.
Para able to connect with that left, but it's too much Astro Ninja connecting on so many punches. This rush attack not going to do much damage here, but here is Astro Ninja really doing a fine job, EE, of getting that early advantage and then forcing the hand of Para to play more aggressive.
Absolutely. He's just kind of snaking around those corners. It's really making it difficult for, even with the speed of Kid Cobra, it's not necessarily the speed, it's the maneuverability that's being kind of cut off. Astro Ninja taking full advantage of that and kind of handily returning a victory on his side.
So Astro Ninja will go ahead and take a game. We're now tied up 1-1 in this best of 5 in the opening round of this winner's bracket. And the difference it seemed like here with Astro Ninja, you mentioned the stage, of course, Coney, and that's going to have a huge impact. But kind of off the back of what EE said, when you can get that early lead, especially with Astro Ninja, now you've conditioned the opponent to really play a particular way, and that is to play aggressive.
Yeah, there are some players in Smash Brothers and certainly in ARMS as well that if you get a deficit on them, if you attain a deficit and then you're losing, you have to come back. It becomes a nightmare trying to get back into the game, and I definitely think Astro Ninja is one of them because his defensive play is just so strong, and getting any hit on him is just a monumental effort. So we'll see how Para does here on DNA Lab and these pillars.
Our third game between Astro Ninja and Para, two of the heavy hitters in these top 4. You see DNA Lab with these pillars. Those are destructible, of course, and so you have a little bit of temporary cover. And this is a stage here where we especially see a lot of patience and that gamemanship with these pillars that Astro Ninja is really doing a fine job of ducking behind.
Oh, and anticipation is so huge here because really you just know somebody's just trying to guess where you're going to come out from behind one of those containers and then just take advantage. In the case right there of Astro Ninja, able to use his rush meter to perfection, catching them actually coming out of a little bit of a jump there. So able to get a lot of good damage off of that. And this is a stage that you'll recall we've seen Astro Ninja have a lot of success on, dominant performances, and it looks like not too much has changed even 2 months removed from their last encounter. Really strong start for Astro Ninja.
Yeah, Astro Ninja really recalibrating things, used that rush attack to just smash through that DNA tube, and now it's Para with a rush attack ready to go. Para has to really find an opportunity here, Coney, to use that rush attack if you're trying to turn the tide of this round.
Yeah, I don't know if you lose it. He's in a very uncomfortable spot between a rock and a hard place because what are you going to do here? Do you use the rush and maybe lose anyway, or do you hold on to it for the next round? Only 14 seconds to make that decision, and Astro Ninja might have made it for him, but no, there's the counter rush, and that is perfect from Astro Ninja because not only do you win this round free, you also take the rush away from Para, maybe even clinching himself for the next round.
Yeah, you saw Para respond with the rush attack after Astro Ninja threw it out early, knowing that puts Para in a very difficult situation and so quick to react in that moment. Para, if you're going to use your rush attack and try and take the round, or do I hang on to it for the second one and sort of concede the first round? Either way, Astro Ninja taking yet another round in this third game here. Para connecting with a couple of lefts here. Astro Ninja getting closer, once again applying that pressure and able to get the throw here, EE.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and this is where you kind of see Astro Ninja. He's proving that, look, I'm not just somebody who has to go ahead and just continually be in retreat mode. I can get aggressive with you, I can fight back, and I can put the pressure on. And I think that's what Parr's having to deal with, somebody who's so comfortable switching between styles. Like, we know what he's known for, but what he can do, that's a whole nother story. Let's put it on display right now.
Here comes a rush attack from Parra, and once again, Astro Ninja doing such a fine job over the last couple of games here, Coney, of avoiding the rush attacks coming out from Parra.
This is what we talked about before the broadcast, man, when we were talking about before this event even started, how patience is key in these fights, especially against somebody as sort of just discerning as Astro Ninja is, man. He does not let it rip early on the rushes. You have to land every single hit you throw. Even when we saw Parra take the first game, it was still sort of a bit of uncertainty because Astro Ninja can change his pace so quickly. Parra trying to grab him out of that rush 2 times and taking 45 damage for his troubles.
Yeah, missed opportunity for Parra. Had a chance to get the throw on the rush attack against Astro Ninja to no avail. So it's Astro Ninja once again in full control with 10 seconds left. But Parra able to connect with the rush attack. Will it be enough? No, Astro Ninja with just enough health. Parra's looking for one throw, but it's not going to connect. But hold on. We have time. What do we have here?
You think Parra won? I'm pretty sure
Parra
that's
gets the win by just
him.
A sliver of health. Parra with the rush attack and the late punch as time expired, taking a critical round from Astro Ninja. So now we go into a third and decisive round in this third game in EE. That's why in ARMS and in life, you can't give up when your back's up against the wall.
Not at all, and I credit Parra for just not conceding that round. He was down a considerable amount, but Astro Ninja, you saw when Parra popped his rush meter, Astro Ninja tried to jab him out of it. He tried to pop him. He got it maybe a little overzealous there, and Parra found the opportunity to really make that count, winning by just a sliver and forcing this third game. It's not about how you start, Jordan, it's how you finish.
What really stood out, though, too, Coney, was the fact that Parra was able to close the gap on Astro Ninja. We've seen Astro Ninja do such a fine job, like we see right here, of keeping their spacing, but Parra was able to get just close enough to apply that pressure. And here we go, Parra trying to make their advance, get within all of the arms coming out of Astro Ninja and Dr. Coil as they levitate, trying to take this third game to move up 2-1 this opening round. But here comes the dual rush attacks, and Parra able to connect here, Coney.
He kind of brute forced them through there. Sometimes when you see the rush attack, you'll sort of see the fist fly and they'll bang against each other and eventually somebody's going to come out on top. There it was Parra, who now enjoys a pretty considerable lead, all things being considered. I think what Parra has to do now is back up a little bit. I think that the aggressive playstyle has worked thus far, but I think now with Astro Ninja having to play on the offensive, I would like to see Parra sort of take a back seat. He does have the rush available. We're going to have to see how they go here.
15 seconds left. Parra with a slight advantage over Astro Ninja, but Astro Ninja blowing out the candle on that rush attack. And here comes a rush attack from Astro Ninja. Is it going to be enough? Astro Ninja with a slight lead. Parra needs to connect, but no. Astro Ninja with one huge fist with 2 seconds left snatches victory out of the hands of Parra. And Astro Ninja will move up 2-1 as we continue in this opening match of this winner's bracket. So back-to-back rounds there, EE, of both fighters not quitting until the very end and stealing the victory.
Love the no quit, but I would have loved to see what Coney pointed out being executed. I think it could have been all the difference. If Parra just for once, just stop pushing forward. Just take a second. You're in the lead. You're in control. It's going to be okay. Force him to keep coming to you and use those countermeasures. But he's just somebody who just likes to push the tempo and keep things at a quick pace. So I don't blame him. That's just the style we've come to learn from him.
Let's pick things up on Temple Ground. This is a fan-shaped stage with some pillars, so a little bit of everything. You also have a little bit of undulation from the top to bottom, so a chance to get the high ground. And Parra so close to taking that third game off of Astro Ninja, but Astro Ninja, you gotta continue to fight until the clock says 00. Early on, both fighters just getting a feel for each other in this stage here. A couple of tri-blasts coming out from Astro Ninja. Rush attack being deployed. No luck there as Parra stops that. And here's Parra. Nice little combo here, Coney.
Huge combo. He did not extend it as much as I think he could have. He just kept letting it fly. Maybe as the arms were retracting, he wasn't able to make it happen. But still, huge damage as he's up almost 2 bars on Astro Ninja here. I think that last round had to have been a learning experience for Parra where, you know, you feel like you're in the driver's seat. You feel like you're smashing your opponent. You're doing so well. But the breath is a little shallow and you're sort of in your own head. The sweat's starting to bead. and sometimes you can make a poor decision, and I think here he's got to be a little bit more judicious. He does not eat the full rush. He's going to survive for a little bit longer, but you can see how Astro Ninja is closing this gap slowly.
And that's the thing, Astro Ninja will just continue to chip away as there is still time left on the clock, under 15 seconds now at this point. Para has a rush attack, able to connect. Critical connection here. 310 here, EE. Now you just got to hang on for 7 seconds.
That was absolutely huge, and this is exactly what Para needs to do. Can he hold on? Oh, arm gets disabled, and that allows Astro Ninja to sneak in there, and that could be the difference maker at time, and it is Astro Ninja snatching that one back.
Astro Ninja, once again, right before the bell goes off, has a question for the teacher. We all remember those days back in school. So Astro Ninja taking another round. Let's see if Para can really start to lock in and focus with that lead. But Astro Ninja says, listen here, I'm going to play with the lead here, son. So Coney, Astro Ninja doing what they want to do. That is get out to the early advantage and force Para to play more aggressive.
Yeah, this is sometimes where the feeling of futility can start to set in. Para has been so close multiple times just over and over, but it feels like Astro Ninja has something else on his side. I don't know if it's the blessing of the arms committee or something, but it seems like the belt is going to be his and he's on his way to a three-peat. Para has to find a way to steal himself, but I don't know. Already it's looking very rough and Para might be taking a trip down to that loser's bracket.
And Astro Ninja with the switch to double bubs has really just taken full control of this second game in our fourth match here between Para and Astro Ninja. One more connection for Astro Ninja should do it. Para would have to have a historic comeback here at this point to force us into a third game. Gets the throw. Not over yet. But Astro Ninja with that rush meter. Don't forget, you can't get KO'd by chip damage. You are blocking. So if Para can just play a smart defensive game, you have a chance. All right, Para, you're scripting it for us. We need a few more pages if we want to get to this next round. Let's see. Here comes Para.
No way. Wait, he didn't land all of it.
Coney couldn't, as you said, he couldn't finish it. Para needs one more hit to force a third game. Can Para do it? No, but Astro Ninja,
not again.
once again, taking dessert off the table for Para. And if you're Para, you have to be discouraged. You are so close so many times. And fellas, let's start with you, Coney. We almost saw one of the most incredible comebacks in any particular round in ARMS history right there. Para was just one punch away.
Over and over and over, Para was so close to being able to just lock that one away, to take a game and to continue on in the bracket. But right there, you saw he just needed a couple more hits. He landed the critical rush. He blocked the entire rush from Astro Ninja. It looked so close, and everything was just laying perfectly for Para. And then just one mistake. That's all it takes. And the double bubs are just right there in your face. He takes that 100 damage. And unfortunately, he's going to take that one-way trip into the loser's bracket. That's heartbreaking.
You know, much closer than what it looked like. 3-1,
Yes.
It'll go ahead and go to Astro Ninja. Let's take a look at the bracket here and see the first result of our first match here. Astro Ninja, 3-1 over Para. Certainly very exhilarating. That'll send Para down to loser semifinals, but I know Para would be itching for a rematch against Astro Ninja. That sets up our second winners semifinals, Jean-Marc versus Goof and EE. As we said before, Jean-Marc, a bit of a dark horse coming into this one. Jean-Marc was the 4th seed in bracket number 2 and had to climb out of the losers bracket after falling down 0-2 to Twin Please and got some revenge. And so you look at someone like Jean-Marc here, EE, that had to battle out of the losers bracket, reset the bracket in order to get to the Final Four, and someone that has won 13 online tournaments in their career. And this seems like a very battle-tested person that won't quit when things are against them.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you've won 13 tournaments and you're still considered a dark horse, that goes to show you the level of competition we're dealing with. Let's just put that out there right now. But no, Jean-Marc, obviously, like anytime you got to start in losers and just make that tremendous climb all the way to the Final Four, hey, this guy should have all the confidence in the world. Now, given he's going against Goof, somebody who's put like 1,500 hours into the game, so we already know he's going to bring a lot to the table as well. I think that the potential for our winners finals, no matter who comes out of this side of the bracket, is going to be sensational.
And as we see with Goof here, Coney, someone that, you know, has a couple of options when it comes to their character selection. We know that they can go with the Dr. Coil, but we've also seen some Mechanica coming from Goof.
Yeah, I'm going to be very interested in this because Mechanica is a character that has been sort of historically let's say undervalued in the game. I mean, she's huge, has a huge hurt box. She is able to levitate, much like Dr. Coyle, but doesn't have the advantage of the invisibility. The third arm doesn't have everything that Coyle has, but we'll see what Goof opts to go with. I have to imagine at this level of the bracket, it's going to be Coyle, but always love seeing those sort of pocket picks come out every once in a while.
And we've seen before EE, and we just saw that between Astro Ninja and Para. You're going to switch up your arms from round to round as well, too. We saw those double bubs, so there's a bit of a chess match that goes on between two players as they get a feel for one another.
I almost feel like that last match was like perfect for showing like, okay, well, we've had plenty of battles. Like, I know what you're bringing to the table. Let me go ahead and just put on, a set that I feel like is going to let me kind of keep up with you and keep you at bay. And obviously it was a huge gap until that historic almost run came out from Para. But yes, it does go to show you, like, you don't just commit to just having one set or like the default. You got to know your options, take advantage of that. And I think that's something that at this high level play, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
And Coney, at the top of this, we talked about patience, and almost resiliency is a huge aspect of high-level play, because already between Astro Ninja and Para, we saw things come down to that final second or two. What do you have to keep in mind when you're trying to close out a match and you know that every single punch that connects could tip the scales in your favor, whether it's win or loss?
At the end of the day, it only takes a certain amount of punches to knock somebody out, right? In terms of the health, the big hits on the things like bubs or grabs, they'll do 100, 150. In some characters' cases, like Kid Cobra, will do 170. So no matter how insurmountable the odds seem in terms of the health bar, you got to remember, all you really need maybe are 8 good hits, and of those, maybe only 5 have to be good reads or anticipation. The rest can sort of be follow-ups. We saw Para earlier get a huge follow-up into a rush, and that's what these players have to think about. And it looks like we've got a repeat matchup here as it's Kid Cobra against Dr. Coyle once again.
Both fighters taking center stage in the mausoleum. Jean-Marc is Kid Cobra, Goof going with the Dr. Coyle, and already we see a Fun Chuck and a Burr Chuck respectively between Goof and Jean-Marc, so looking for a little bit of variance there in that ability, but right now both fighters just keeping their distance. Goof trying to connect with that rush attack, no real damage, but you see a couple of caution signs come up on both arms for Jean-Marc as Goof finally gets the first knockdown, followed by another knockdown there. Yeah,
no doubt about it. Already taking the fight, and okay, we're just seeing these rushes fly at the moment. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. I want to see that trampoline come out in the middle of Mausoleum, just something just to put these players in the air, and that can be very debilitating when it really comes down to it. But Jean-Marc, I am liking what I'm seeing thus far with the Kid Cobra, but you just see Goof matching them blow for blow. These might be the two most evenly matched fighters we have in this bracket.
Both of them rocking a roaster on that left arm as well, too, so trying to get that connection. High damage with that, of course. Here comes another rush attack from Goof. That's going to do 190 and give Goof the advantage as we approach the 20-second mark. And Coney, here it is, those critical last 20 seconds here to try and close out the round.
Yeah, we've seen Jean-Marc with some incredible defense, especially when his arms were broken earlier by that rush. He was able to sort of lock down and make sure he did not get touched. But as you see there, he got a little bit too aggressive. He does have the rush. Is he going to let it go? No, he goes for the grab instead. Goof is going to get knocked down, and the trampoline is out. Jean-Marc is in the air. He's going to let the rush fly. But no, the time is going to run out. He didn't get to let it go.
No, he didn't. And Coney, you also saw Jean-Marc connected with a brilliant Burr Chuck that froze Goof and couldn't follow up with anything else. What a huge missed opportunity for Jean-Marc in the closing seconds.
It's just tragic to see that happen there at the end. Froze him. It looked like he was just a millisecond off. If he got a single punch out of that rush, maybe a little bit more, he would have been okay. But you see Jean-Marc, as soon as that rush is popped by Goof, Jean-Marc is like off the screen. His evasion is so good. He's just dashing to a different dimension every time.
Jean-Marc and Kid Cobra, the best dasher in this game, you could say. Goof trying to apply more pressure here. Jean-Marc just sort of taking some chip damage here and there. Jean-Marc looking for an opening at this point. Can't connect with either arm, and so far Goof here, EE, playing a very patient, persistent game, just getting those knockdowns here and there.
I think Goof has the advantage right now. You kind of consider that trampoline in the middle. Yes, you can use it to kind of get a little bit of a boost, as we just saw right there, but oftentimes I'm thinking Dr. Coyle, she's levitating every single time. She's looking for any opportunity to get you off your feet, off your toes. Few and far between as we see a couple of rushes exchange, but you see Goof getting the better of it and really, again, just trying to impose his will and go up on the first round here.
Yeah, the double rush is coming out. Goof, the victor of that face-off between both of those. Now it's Goof just trying to hold on out for about 25 more seconds. Looking for the KO, though. does a fine job of defending against that left, avoids the bird chuck, but gets bopped in the face by that roaster. Jean-Marc trying to apply a little bit more pressure, but we might be running out of time here, Coney, and Goof is going to try and go for it all. And Goof with the KO, courtesy of the rush attack, will go ahead and take the first game in this winners semifinals here, Coney.
Yeah, I think that as soon as the trampoline came out, it was curtains for Jean-Marc, just because Goof and particularly Dr. Coyle they're just so good at evading and staying back, keeping their distance. And when you've got that trampoline in the middle of the stage, if you walk onto it, obviously you're going to jump, and being in the air is such a worse position than just trying to come at them grounded, because you're not able to block unless you're a character like Lola Pop. So what happened was Jean-Marc's sort of his approach options were severely limited there. He had to come around the circle, which really telegraphed his approach to Goof, and Goof was able to play that expertly as we go on to Scrapyard for the next game.
As you mentioned, Scrapyard, one of those stages that requires an exceptional amount of patience. We've seen so many timeouts on this particular stage here over these last couple of competitive tournaments. But right now, Jean-Marc, with no trampoline to worry about, gets a chance to get close, but it's Goof doing a fine job of just negating so many of the approaches. And Goof, the first one with the rush meter here, and EE doing a great job of bobbing and weaving behind those two pillars in the middle of the stage.
Knowing how to work with the pillars, use it to your advantage, almost as a defensive tool, right? That is just tremendous. While they're up, obviously they take damage, they can crumble, as we see there. But Goof, yes, already with his meter, gonna let it rip, and no pillar will keep you safe. This man is coming for your throat, and he's doing an excellent job. And notice, we've seen really no high ground trying to be taken advantage of. These guys have kind of been in the pit, scrapping it out up to that point.
Goof is all business right now against Jean-Marc. No issues whatsoever.
Oh,
and I think that was a perfect as well, too. No need to put red ink on that paper. So Goof, just a marvelous display of mobility and aggression, taking that first round from Jean-Marc. Yeah, you get a perfect, you get a yellow dot underneath your face. So Jean-Marc, Goof, here we go, round two. Let's see if Jean-Marc can land a blow on Goof. Goof right now doing such a fine job using the levitating here, Coney, to not only move left and right, but up and down to get the high ground on Jean-Marc.
Yeah, having that level of verticality is so good for certain characters, and Dr. Coyle, I think, exploits it better than any other. As we see Goof just sort of run away with this, Jean-Marc keeping it a little bit more competitive in this game, but even still, I mean, that first game they were looking so evenly matched, but as soon as Goof had any amount of advantage, he was able to push it to a level that Jean-Marc just could not keep pace with.
So Goof with the high ground, trying to keep their distance against Jean-Marc. Jean-Marc trying to connect with a couple of charged arms. Here comes the rush attack from Goof. Able to get the nice second half of that, though. So Jean-Marc down to a few slivers of health. Now it's all about Goof avoiding this incoming rush attack, you imagine, from Jean-Marc here soon. Jean-Marc on the low ground here. Goof really just trying to stand tall and apply more consistent pressure. And this is when you know, EE, that Jean-Marc has to be the aggressor. So if you're Goof, you're thinking about your defensive options.
Oh, of course. And honestly, for him, it's just patience, right? Let me just wait. The confirm will come to me eventually. You know, you're down to just a sliver of health, and you're just going to let that thing go. And we've seen plenty of times, Jordan, he does not shy away from letting that meter go. Meter economy is not in Goof's vocabulary. If he got it, he's going to let it fly.
And Coney, it seemed like Jean-Marc was just a second too late with that counter rush. Goof was able to get the bot before Jean-Marc could get that rush attack out. And it was all that she wrote when it came to that second game. And so Goof, once again, switching things up between being very aggressive in the beginning, but then being patient in the second half of the match. And you like that versatility from this high-level competition.
Yeah, and one of the things, I mean, you just said it, man. Being able to change the pace of the match is something that Goof seems to be particularly adept with. I mean, what he's doing is he'll sort of sit on his back foot, chill, throw these arms as much as possible. But if he pulls the rush, Jean-Marc has to pull the rush. If Goof is in his face, Jean-Marc has to defend. And it feels like Goof is deciding the pace of this match in a way that Jean-Marc just has not been able to replicate or really do anything about, as he's found in the corner here on Sparring Ring again.
So both fighters with that roaster on their left arm. That seems to be the fan favorite of this October 2020 North American Open so far. You see Jean-Marc going back to the bird chuck. Here comes the rush attack from Goof, and Goof wasting no time whatsoever in Sparring Ring. Typically you train here, but it's all a game for Goof at this point. And now Jean-Marc in a very difficult position. No pillars, no gimmicks in this stage, just trying to get close. But it seems like Goof here, EE, just a consistent onslaught of arms that are coming out at all times.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just overwhelming Jean-Marc, and you got a character like Kid Cobra. You think, okay, speed, speed, speed. That's gonna be the name of the game. Give me an advantage. Get me in there. But no, Goof has just been keeping him at bay, and you just see just how efficient and fluid he's been. And it just seems like every time we finish a sentence, Jean-Marc unfortunately is down to his last sliver of health, and that's just not going to be enough to win at this level.
And it seems like it, Coney, that Jean-Marc really isn't using the dashing capabilities of Kid Cobra to its full advantage, trying to get into those blind spots of Dr. Coyle. There comes the freeze. There comes the throw follow-up. And don't call it over quite yet. Jean-Marc able to come back and punctuate that with a victory. So, Coney, the importance of landing that charged fur chuck and quickly following up was the difference in that round.
Getting that one lockdown, that one freeze was all Jean-Marc needed to get in there and do damage. And you saw that charged roaster hit. Good Lord, 140 damage just like that, 170 off the grab. And hopefully this is the pivot point that Jean-Marc needed. He has a full rush, and I think if he uses it soon, before Goof can get one of his own, puts him in the corner, that's going to be 275 damage. Jean-Marc might be on his way to winning his first game here.
And Jean-Marc really finding the rhythm now here, EE, and it seemed like it's just a matter of getting into Goof's comfort zone and really disrupting them and forcing Goof now to respond and react rather than just being patient and waiting for Jean-Marc to throw out those arms.
And he might have Goof second-guessing a couple of his options, too. You make a comeback like we just saw in the previous round. That's going to be tremendous just for the psyche of your opponent. I think this is the opportune time for Jean-Marc to strike. And it looks like he's not trying to put that to waste because Goof is definitely trailing, and that arm in danger of maybe getting disabled as we see a rush attack come through. Not going to get too much off of it, but just letting him know he's not afraid to assert himself.
So Jean-Marc letting Goof know that he's still knocking on the front door. Goof, though, able to get a huge connection. However, eats a fist and lands on the ground. So that means Jean-Marc just has a couple of connections away from taking the round, and they do. So Jean-Marc taking their first game and forcing a game 4. So once again, this theme that's developing of not giving up when you're on the canvas and picking yourself up continues in this second winter semifinals, as Jean-Marc seems to have finally figured something out there, Coney, and sort of solved the riddle of taking on Goof.
I think a lot of that comes down to the stage again, because if you remember Para against Astro Ninja earlier, I think it was either Sparring Ring or it was Spring Stadium, but either way, it was a very small stage with not a lot going on. It wasn't something big like DNA Lab or Via Dolce. And I think that really favors Kid Cobra in those scenarios. So it really depends on what stage we're going to get again. And it looks like we're back to Sparring Ring, which I think bodes well for Jean-Marc in this next game.
It's really fascinating you bring that up, Coney. We'll keep an eye on that as we continue our way through this October 2020 North American Open, about how the stage and Dr. Coyle as a character selection really go hand in hand, because as you mentioned, this Sparring Ring, no gimmicks, just fighter versus fighter, as Jean-Marc unable to capitalize off the freeze, but breaks up the throw and bops Goof with the left, and Jean-Marc trying to make quick work of Goof already, and EE, whatever Jean-Marc did or ate as a snack in between that second and third game, keep chewing on it.
He must have had some of that juice Michael Jordan had in Space Jam, okay? I don't know what it is, but this man has just decided I'm showing up and I'm showing out. What a dominant performance from Jean-Marc. He is trying to leave his mark on this tournament, certainly trying to push us to a Game 5.
Any late 90s reference will bring a smile to my face here. So Jean-Marc taking the first round in this fourth game. Goof sitting there, and now Goof going with a change, the Tri-Blast in the left arm instead of the Fun Chuck. How do you think that might impact things here, Coney?
I think it is a counter to the dash. As we've seen, Jean-Marc has been very evasive with the dash, and when he's losing, it's because he can't get out of the screen of Goof fast enough. So I think using the horizontal blast, especially keeping it on the left arm so you have the third arm using it as well, that really limits mobility for Jean-Marc, and he has to be a little bit more judicious in terms of how he's going to use that dash to get out. And already I think it's paying off for Goof as he is landing so many more hits, doing so much better. The problem is Jean-Marc has shown he's able to make this comeback, so if he can go to this Game 5, he only needs a little bit more. Maybe this rush will do it.
And Jean-Marc eating the second rush attack from Goof, so Goof will take that round. And EE, one fascinating aspect of Goof switching to this Tri-Blast is if you're Jean-Marc, because of that explosion mechanic, it seems like you have to hold that block just a little bit longer.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, right? Just slowing down his mobility, okay, his ability to be where he wants in his comfort zone. It's all about the pacing, and I think that's where Goof is trying to get it back, because that's where we saw him kind of explode and have the advantage early on before Jean-Marc eventually started to keep up. But no, I think that, again, it just goes to show you, it's not just about the characters, right? The orange playing such a huge facet in the gameplay.
This is the biggest round of this semifinal matchup here. A victory here, Jean-Marc forces a game 5. If Goof gets the win, they're moving on to the winners finals against Astro Ninja. Both fighters, rush attack, ready to go. Jean-Marc trying to hurdle over some arms and get closer. Goof whiffed with the rush attack, and Jean-Marc goes upstairs to rain down some arms on Goof. And so now Jean-Marc with a slight lead here, Coney. What do you got to do here at this point if you want to try and close it out?
I think the goal here is to keep pressure up. Usually we say, you want to take a deep breath, maybe play a little bit more conservative, but no, I think Jean-Marc is at his best when he's sort of in Goof's face. Also, the fact that Goof is slightly ahead on him in rush, you need to let those arms fly. Try to get rush before he does, so maybe you can break his arms and get a little bit more damage. I think now is the time to hit the gas a little bit, as Goof now has the rush before Jean-Marc does.
Health bars and the desire to win are both equal. However, Goof getting a big time throw. Jean-Marc trying to hold on, rush attack, comes out from Goof. Jean-Marc trying to counter with a rush attack, and Jean-Marc does it. Moves to the left, throws out the rush attack, and let's go, folks. Let's get to a game 5 here as Jean-Marc has taken 2 games in a row off of Goof. EE doesn't get any better than that when you look at the closing out of a 3rd round.
I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like Jean-Marc conditioned that final sequence. We saw him get up, knew he had meter, got grabbed at one time. Then this time, you're just anticipating, okay, he's probably going to try and finish me off right now. Just going to his left, that was so slick because he knew he was going to let that out. And of course, we've seen like the counter rushes that have come from Jean-Marc have been immaculate, and it does not disappoint to force us into a little bit of overtime, Jordan, on Scrapyard.
And one thing that's super interesting when you watch that is that if you notice, Jean-Marc is dodging to the left. And the reason he's doing that is because Goof has the Tri-Blast on his left arm. So he's going in the opposite direction of that, which is how he got away from that rush there. Just so expertly played by Jean-Marc going to the correct side there.
Terrific observation, Professor Coney, as we get set for our 5th and final game in Scrapyard. We saw Goof really dominate on this stage against Jean-Marc early, and it's no different right now in this first round. Goof just has so much more room to work with. The undulation of this stage and those pillars as well too gives Goof a huge advantage, and it's all Goof early on. And it seems like Jean-Marc still hasn't figured out the best way to approach Goof in Scrapyard. And EE, Jean-Marc able to connect with a little 1-2, but it seems like Goof is in full control in this round here.
Yeah, I would say this is probably tailor-made for Goof to kind of wrap up this game 5, but as we've seen time and time again, Jean-Marc is just somebody you can't count out. So this opening round, yes, it's true, it's likely going to go to Goof just the way things are trending, but you never quite know. And you already know somebody like Jean-Marc, like, okay, you took that round, can you do it again?
So Goof goes ahead and takes the first round. And Coney, why is Scrapyard so well built for Goof and Dr. Coyle, it feels like?
Because it's big. That's really it. It's a huge stage. She's able to go to the top. She's able to use that verticality. So you see what Goof is doing. Not only does Goof have the high ground, but also the ability to levitate means that there's just so much more verticality. I think having a huge stage like this gives Goof and Dr. Coyle so many more options. You see, there's no way Goof is giving up that positioning, even when Jean-Marc is down on the ground. And Jean-Marc has no real recourse to be able to do anything here. Even this rush, as great as it was, only did 265 because some punches didn't land simply because of the height.
Yeah, a lot of real estate that these punches have to cover for Jean-Marc, and Goof just sitting back comfortably on the high ground, throwing out left and right, trying to negate anything that Jean-Marc is throwing out. Goof has a rush attack ready to go. Jean-Marc under 25% health, halfway point of this second round. Goof trying to close things out here and move on to winners finals against Astro Ninja. Jean-Marc chipping away. Goof hasn't ran away with this quite yet. Jean-Marc doing a fine job here, EE, of just being patient. That's what you got to do once again. It seems like they're going to bide their time to wait for Goof to throw out that rush attack.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't come back from, an 0-2 start in this bracket to make it the top 4 and not have some patience and not have some resilience. So I think Jean-Marc sees an opportunity to potentially strike. We've seen him make some comebacks already throughout this contest. So for both of them to have rush, Goof, we know he likes to let that thing rip, but Jean-Marc, how many times has he shown that he has the capability of the counter rush, but nothing gonna save him there. And it goes to Coney's point again, the height advantage, all the difference in the world.
And you saw that right there, Coney. Jean-Marc is trying to get to the left side of his screen, the right side of Goof, and just couldn't do it because the stage is so large once again.
It's really the stage. You saw the 2 games that Jean-Marc won were sparring ring, but unfortunately he rolled snake eyes on that one as soon as we ended up in scrapyard. I don't know if there was a chance for Jean-Marc to be able to win there.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here in just a moment. A terrific matchup that we just saw there between Goof and Jean-Marc. It took 5 games to finally get a winner there, but kudos to Jean-Marc for really battling back from a 2-0 hole. That'll send Jean-Marc down to the losers bracket to face off against Para in those loser semifinals. So up next, Goof. Keep the gloves warm here because you're going to be facing off against Astro Ninja and most likely going to give us a coil versus coil matchup. So in this situation here, EE, it really doesn't matter what stage you play because both fighters with the same character, you're going to be dealing with the same stuff regardless of the stage.
Yeah, I mean, abilities, it doesn't matter on the stage. Like, you're going to, it's a mirror match. That's just how it's going to go. Arm selection is going to be key here. I'm interested to see what they both elect to open up to. Astro Ninja, you look at how things have kind of played out, he's still probably your favorite going into this. But how about Goof? He's shown those moments of brilliance and just his ability to kind of control the pace of a game too. Maybe that can help, throw Astro Ninja a little bit off his game. Not really sure how much, considering they're playing the same character, but it'll be a fun showdown either way.
Well, Coney, as EE said, really the only variants you're going to have here other than the fighter skins are going to be the arms they choose. And we've seen both of them go with that Tri-Blast and the left arms at different times. We saw Astro Ninja with double bubs also, but it seems like against a Dr. Coil, you want to try to restrict movement. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, your goal with Dr. Coil is really to close all the doors and shut all the windows. I mean, if you can stop your opponent from really dashing away or from getting in on you at all, you just want to stop, keep them at arm's length. I think the big difference here is going to be in play style. As we've seen, Astro Ninja is he's not afraid of slowing things down to a crawl and really stopping people from coming in. But Goof showed us the same ability to do so on Scrapyard. So depending on the stages, depending on the arm choice, depending on how these two decide to sort of play their hands, I'm very interested to see what happens here. If you're on something like Sparring Ring, obviously, if it's a lot tighter and smaller, I think that's going to favor one player. Meanwhile, if we end up on something bigger like Temple Grounds or DNA Lab, that might actually favor the other opponent. So I'm very interested to see sort of how this all shakes out.
Yeah, and it seems like patience, as you said, will play a huge role in this. And EE, I mean, really, we have to see both of these fighters face off against each other before we can really determine what's the different play style that one of them might use here. And when you break down a matchup like that, it seems like it all comes down to who connects with their rush attack and who's able to take advantage of those opportunities, those very rare opportunities that pop up.
Absolutely. And listen, you already know, like, when it comes to Astro Ninja, yes, we know, like, just pitch a tent, okay? This man is out there camping, okay? But you come into his campgrounds, he's showing you can pick up that stick and start swinging too. Okay, this is not somebody who just relies on the fact that he's just trying to out-camp you and outwork you like that. He can get aggressive too. Goof, how about how many times we saw that he gets that rush and he doesn't hold it for too long. Like, he likes to let that thing fly. So we know his aggressive style can come out too. It's really going to be just who wants it more, right? Like, who is more battle-tested between these two great opponents we're about to see face off for our winners finals. I don't think you could ask for anything better at this juncture of the bracket.
And as long as one of you all bring the s'mores, I got no problem watching this camping trip here for the most part. And yeah, stage selection will probably determine the type of matchup we're going to see here, as far as if it's going to be very aggressive or very patient, as we said here before, Coney. And then we've talked about those arms differences. But once again, Astro Ninja really seems to thrive with getting that early lead. And it seems like being able to condition your opponent. And these matchups will be huge here as far as forcing their hand to be aggressive.
I think Astro Ninja has shown us that they are at their strongest when they have that lead, and it's very difficult to come back. I think Jean-Marc has shown that Goof may have some holes in his defense. It feels like Jean-Marc is able to sort of burst through against Goof earlier. So I'm wondering how Goof is going to be able to respond to that from Astro Ninja coming into this next match.
All right, looks like we're ready for the first game in our winners finals. Let's go ahead and get the sunblock out. Take things to Buster Beach. You see the fire hydrant shaped stage with a lower ground at the bottom part that widens out, very narrow at the top with that bench in the middle. Also, Coil versus Coil. Astro Ninja on your right. Going with a couple of nades here, it looks like. And then on your left, you've got Goof as well. So we'll keep an eye on all the action here. And Astro Ninja getting sent to the canvas first by Goof, but able to connect with that nade on the left. And EE, that explosion mechanic, going to apply a lot of pressure, especially if you can get that charged arm.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's just kind of, it could very well so be the difference maker in who's going to go ahead and take this first round, as we see just letting that rush meter fly. Astro Ninja not shying away from it. And this is what I was talking about, Jordan, the fact that he can get aggressive. He can fight you up close and personal too, obviously keeping some distance between the both. That's the nature of the character. But when things come down to it, the man can scrap with you. But what can you say about Goof? I told you, 1 second he had that rush meter and it was there, then gone the next.
A true mirror match. Both fighters, same character, same arms here. Nearly equivalent health. 35 seconds left here. Goof, Astro Ninja, who's going to take this first round as we open up winners finals. Astro Ninja able to connect there. Goof trying to find their positioning. Goof is able to connect with a charged arm. Here comes the rush attack. And it's going to be Astro Ninja that's able to close things out in the first round. So a little bit closer than we thought. And Coney, I mean, you talk about similar play styles. It really doesn't get much more similar than what we just saw.
That final hit landing, the final rush was just the nail in the coffin for Goof. I think the use of the nade is pretty telling. You saw neither of these guys really used the nade in the earlier matches, but I think because of the way that Dr. Coil functions, the way she moves, you don't really need a tri-blast or a tri-bolt. You don't need a horizontal. She's a little bit too mobile for something like a boomerang or a bird arm. And one of the most interesting things about these two on this stage is you see that little middle platform. That's usually very difficult for players to maneuver around because you have to jump over it. Not Coil. You see them both floating over it effortlessly. And so this is almost just a battle between two levitators as they're just sort of shifting around. I think the nade is perfect for that since it blows up in your face, causes the opponent to block for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that bench is just like EE in a dunk contest. Just go ahead and sail over that thing as you try and get your goal here. So Goof with the advantage here. Hey, EE, I've seen you jump. You got it, man. You got it in you here. So Goof trying to apply a little pressure with that rush attack ready to go. Astro Ninja throwing out both those arms in the defensive presence saying, don't blame me for it. Connects with the left charge nade. Astro Ninja with a rush attack ready to go. So here it comes. Can Goof do the counter? No. Goof's going to just go ahead and block nearly all of that here, EE. And now Goof has a chance with that rush attack and the tank.
That he does, and he might just go ahead and let it fly. One opening presents itself, and that's all it'll take for Goof. I gotta imagine that's going to be coming sooner rather than later. And there it is. But what a hit from Astro Ninja. Just kind of quell the momentum he was trying to build and maybe put himself up a game. There it is. Right on cue from Astro Ninja.
Yeah, Coney, that explosion mechanic of the nade, it just set off right as Goof unleashed that rush attack, it seemed like, and that's all Astro Ninja needed. And so, once again, those nades and the explosion mechanic seems like it just forces Dr. Coil in that defensive position for just a beat longer.
It's very disruptive. If you're blocking, you have to block a little bit longer. Coil's mobility is great in terms of how many places she can go, but she's not particularly fast getting there. And because of that, the blast can super disrupt you if you're dashing at the wrong time or if you sort of misjudge the distance of the explosion. It does look like we have a switch from Astro Ninja. So one of the nades is gone in exchange for a toaster, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Astro Ninja going with a toaster in that right paw and already paying off early dividends. Takes a nice advantage over Goof, but Goof able to connect and take the lead back from Astro Ninja. Rush attack ready to go from both of them. Astro Ninja, once again, EE so efficient by utilizing those rush attacks, and will go ahead and just eat, and not only eat, but counter Goof's rush attack.
Yeah, Goof is just getting completely overwhelmed at the start of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, forget about the sun block. How about you just block, okay? Just do something to keep yourself intact. But Astro Ninja, and credits to him too, gets the victory, switches arms, keeps reinventing himself in a sense to keep Goof on his toes.
Astro Ninja connecting with that toaster and then cackling in the face of Goof to go ahead and take that first round. And once again, that toaster just coming in a little bit quicker than that nade, able to disrupt Goof several times. And Coney, the story so far, Astro Ninja, I think has been perfect nearly on all of these rush attacks coming out.
Now, to be honest, this may be I looking a little outclassed here. We know how talented Goof is. We know how far he's made it. We know the 1,500 hours in the game, but Astro Ninja is well on his way to the three-peat in these events. I think there's a reason he's made it this far and has won so many times. Like, Goof is an incredible player, but Astro Ninja just seems to be on another level.
Goof trying to create some distance. Here comes the counter rush, but once again, Astro Ninja, even when Goof EE throws out the rush attack in response to Astro Ninja able to thread the needle and get that arm in there to rack up all that damage. And so now it's a 2-game lead for Astro Ninja. And what we're seeing here is the reason why Astro Ninja is looking for a potential three-peat here today.
He's leaving nothing to chance. I mean, this is a guy who's just so accomplished, so many tournaments, one looking to add another one to the resume. I mean, you go up 2 whole games like this, one more to put things away, just end it. The pressure right now is squarely put on Goof. He has to respond, and for this situation, that's really good for Astro Ninja.
Let's head back to the Mausoleum for our second game of the day here. Astro Ninja versus Goof. Astro Ninja, victory here will go ahead and push them into grand finals. Goof trying to mount a comeback though. Seen a couple of those already in the winner's semifinals, but Astro Ninja trying to make quick work of this one. And what really stands out, Coney, is just how quickly Astro Ninja is able to get the guard and shield up and then counter back to Goof.
Feels like there are no answers, if I'm being honest. It feels like Astro Ninja is just always in Goof's face, whether he's right up close or whether he's playing from a mile back. There's just no opening here for Goof. He's just staring down the barrel of a third loss in a row. Goof trying, just flailing wildly to get something going, but Astro Ninja is just 5 steps ahead.
Astro Ninja, just a phenomenal job of reading Goof. We saw Goof throw out a second arm while the first one was out. Astro Ninja knew that was going to miss already and then retaliated with the rush attack. So Astro Ninja just reading Goof like a book right now. And even though Goof's trying to keep their distance, it's Astro Ninja that continues to apply so much pressure. But once again, the defensive capabilities and sending Goof to the canvas. What else can you say about this man?
Well, honestly, for Goof, this is the closest he's been in a while, and I know not too much damage has been taken, but you kind of got to hope to keep it in around that stratosphere. And unfortunately, I can't even finish the sentence before he looks to try and finish this man off. Rush is hitting, everything just going the way. And Coney said it best, like, it just seems like a case of being completely outclassed.
So Goof really facing it right now, and that'll be a left hand that'll go ahead and get the victory for Astro Ninja. So Astro Ninja gets the broom out and sweeps Goof on their way to grand finals. And Astro Ninja, one thing that really stood out to me there, Coney, was when Astro Ninja has the rush meter ready to go, they're waiting for you to make a mistake, it seems like. And it sounds like if you're facing off against Astro Ninja, you have to be really careful when he's got a rush attack ready to roll.
If you're already winning, there's no reason to pull it. I think that's what we're finding with Astro Ninja. A lot of players sort of, what they'll do is as soon as they get the rush, if they have the lead, they'll just use it and let it rip just to try to get more of a lead, sort of that win more mentality. Astro Ninja is getting the rush first and sitting on it because he's so confident that he's going to beat you otherwise. If nobody pulls a rush, he's going to win. So what he says is, okay, I'm going to let this rock. I'm going to sit on it for as long as I need to. As soon as you try to rush, maybe I'll counter rush, or maybe I'll just hold on to it and then I'll use it after you. It feels like he's the second to draw. And because of that, somehow it's some kind of secret sauce because it's working for him every single time. He's just a step ahead at all times.
Yeah, that's what amazes me here is that Astro Ninja can so quickly read where your arms are going to end up being at. He finds that narrow opening and then is so quick to pull the rush attack. So it really is just fantastic to see how they are operating right now. Let's take a look at the bracket here. Winners finals is now over, which means Astro Ninja will advance to grand finals. It'll be Para versus Jean-Marc in our first round of loser semifinals. Those two will battle out to see who will take on Goof in losers finals. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick little break here. But when we come back, we'll pick things up with our loser semifinals in the ARMS North American Open, October 2020.
Well, Link, you've grown since I last saw you. And yet, you have not changed. I would like to be fully prepared. Learning new ways to fight foes might do you some good.
So that's why it's a good thing it's gonna be us! Well, it's just Vah Rudania is in a difficult spot right now. Stacy! Not bad! Come on! Death Mountain won't climb itself!
No longer, I say. I will pilot this divine beast. I hope you're not hurt, little bird.
Rito Village is my home. While I'm here, you won't be getting any closer. You didn't stand a chance. I suppose the time has finally come to reveal Vah Medo's divine power!
You have all that is needed to face whatever destiny awaits. Hyrule's fate is in your hands.
And welcome back to the ARMS North American Open, October 2020. Jordan Kent along here with EE and Coney. We just got done with our winners final. Astro Ninja moving on to grand finals, which means we begin our journey down in the losers bracket. And when we start off in the losers bracket, Coney, we have Para down there who probably gave Astro Ninja their best run for the money. So you figure Para once again trying to have another grand finals rematch against Astro Ninja, a repeat of the August 2020 Open. And so far, it's been some very exciting action where you really can't sleep at the end of any particular round. But as you roadmap the losers, semifinals, and finals, it seems like Para is our favorite down there, Coney.
No question. Para not only gave Astro Ninja the best run for his money today, but also historically in the past, as Para has met Astro Ninja multiple times in finals, you have to imagine he's going to try to blaze through that bracket. That said, Jean-Marc showed a little bit of gumption taking Goof to game 5 earlier. So we'll see if Jean-Marc has something up his sleeve. I'm wondering if Para against Jean-Marc that's going to be a Kid Cobra mirror match, because both of them using Kid Cobra earlier. We know that Para usually uses Springman or Ninjara, but I'm very interested to see sort of what characters we'll see on display in this upcoming match.
And EE with Para, yes, it was 3-1 against Astro Ninja, but there were several times that Para had the round in hand and just couldn't close things out. It really required Astro Ninja to have some heroic efforts the final seconds of each particular round. So if you're Para, you're looking to play a little bit more disciplined until the match is over, it seems like.
I think that's the thing for Para. Like, you understand you get your opponent down to, you know, sliver of health, a very winnable spot, and you try and force it sometimes. Like, you just gotta let the game come to you, because you gotta keep in mind, like, they have to come and mount that comeback. You know what I'm saying? They have to kind of make some mistakes as well. You just have to be patient enough to take advantage. Para has shown that he is immaculate in his gameplay. It's just that one little facet that he's missing that would help so much. For somebody like Jean-Marc, let me tell you something. Wait, he's no stranger to losers bracket. Remember, 0-2 is where he started out and then made it to the Final Four. Okay, so this guy's a grinder. Okay, I'm not counting him out by any means, but we're gonna have a heck of a showdown to open up semis.
Yeah, Jean-Marc, one of the best players coming from Canada, has won 13 online tournaments over the last couple of years. And if you're taking a look at their play styles here, Coney, one thing we saw from Jean-Marc is when you throw out a rush attack against Jean-Marc, they're going to try and get into your blind spot. So it sounds like, once again, that cat and mouse game of who has the rush attack and who's going to throw it out first will play a huge role in this matchup between Jean-Marc and Para.
That's one of the reasons I'm so interested in what characters they're going to choose, right? Because if they both go Kid Cobra, one of the fastest dashes in the game, goes such a far distance, how well are they going to evade each other? You also have a little bit of a dynamic if Para does opt to go with Ninjara, just because of the way that the dash functions there. It's that disappearing act. So I'm interested to see how all of these factors can play into each other, and I think we'll have a good sense that as soon as it loads in. And then I know I'm always the guy harping on this, but stage is critical. Stage is so important for these guys. Both of them have shown that they can play very aggressive, very sort of in your face while dodging, bobbing, and weaving play styles. And I think whoever gets a stage that's better suited to their particular brand of Cobra, I think that's what we're going to see.
All right, let's get set for our first match here. Loser semifinals. Para taking on Jean-Marc. We saw Para once again really give Astro Ninja a run for their money. Our first participant in the Winners Grand Finals.
Yes,
and there
sir.
we go. Appearing on the stage like a cloud of smoke. Para going with Ninjara. Go ahead and smash the mirror here. Let's get a nice little dynamic matchup. And Para right now, you see with that Tri-Bolt and, of course, that Roaster in the left hand for Jean-Marc. You've got the Roaster and the Chakram as well, too, in that right. So this will be a fascinating matchup here. And already, early on, Jean-Marc taking some damage from Para. And that's what you like to see if you're Para, going with Ninjara, having things work out for you. Is that cloud of smoke working well for Para. Early on right now here at EE, early determinations is that, well, Jean-Marc made the most of his rush attack right there.
Absolutely. And I really like this strategy from Para. Obviously, we know he's a very seasoned Ninjara player, and you're kind of giving Jean-Marc a different look, right? He hasn't faced off against a Ninjara, so this is a little bit of a curveball for him coming in, and maybe not going to be the character he sticks with throughout the entirety of it, but why not try and steal that first game if possible? He's got that rush opportunity, is knocking. Will he bust down the door? Oh my God, getting clipped out of that rush. So all things still up for grabs.
And that was huge right there, Coney. Jean-Marc able to negate the rush of Para.
This is what we talked about time and again, about the patience needed to be able to use that rush only where it's necessary. The double dash from Para is not going to be enough, and you have to imagine if he was Kid Cobra, he was well and away from that rush, but because of the disappearing act of Ninjara coming back into it, I think he was clipped by the very end of that rush. One thing that EE said that I think is going to be particularly salient here is I don't know if we're going to see Ninjara all the way through. Ninjara has been a character that has been found somewhat lacking in the top level of this game. He sort of had a time to shine early on in the game back in 2017, but now not really the most favorite of opponents. So maybe this might be a good first round pick, but I doubt we're going to see it all the way through from Para, especially after the way that last match ended.
Yeah, that Chakram right at the end, saving the Canadian bacon of Jean-Marc at the very end. I'm sorry. So here we go. Para gets thrown here by Jean-Marc, and it's all Jean-Marc in this second round. And the rush attack coming out as well, too. Jean-Marc trying to hold things down right now at this point. Para trying to battle back. Para so far doesn't have the lateral mobility of Jean-Marc. We're doing a good job of just avoiding some of those arms coming in. See the warning sign flash up. Para able to recover. 58 seconds left. Jean-Marc sending Para to the canvas, and EE. This is when Jean-Marc wants to close things in and come in with that Cobra bite as he does right there.
Yeah, that chakram right on the money. Wasn't even close in that one. So you got to imagine Para, he's going to go ahead and tuck that Ninjara back into the pocket and get a little more serious here, because that was not the game, not the round he was looking to start things off with.
No, certainly wasn't. You have to give a lot of credit to Jean-Marc for really falling down early in that first round, but recalibrating here, Coney. And we talked about that rush mechanic was going to be huge. Well, Jean-Marc really didn't wait for Para to throw out those rush attacks. We saw Jean-Marc play a very aggressive play style in those 2 rounds.
Yeah, just let it rip right there, and it looks like Para is going to continue letting the Ninjara rip, which I'm a little bit surprised by. I don't pretend to know exactly what, Para's mind is here. He's obviously in the competitive seat more than any of us, but we're here on DNA Lab, and I feel like Jean-Marc's evasion is just going to serve him even better on a stage this large. Maybe Para feels like he has some games to play with, too. Maybe to try a character like this, but we know how talented he is. We'll just see if he can find the answer against Jean-Marc here, who seems to have a lot of things locked down. It's pretty even thus far, but Para is in the corner.
No changes in arms for both these fighters in DNA Lab. Pretty even, as you said, once again, Coney, but Jean-Marc just blasting through that DNA glass tube sends Para to the canvas. Para trying to retaliate once again, but Jean-Marc EE able to evade with Kid Cobra and stop that rush attack.
Absolutely. The evasionness that you're seeing from Kid Cobra and just the overall style of Jean-Marc, right? He's really beating Para to the punches, literally. In a lot of these situations, you just add those containers, just kind of weave around. It's almost a recipe for disaster. Para trying to keep pace, not doing a terrible job, but it seems like down the stretch, those closing moments, that's where you see Jean-Marc just really be the difference maker. And Para right now has a rush, but so does Jean-Marc.
Both fighters with a rush attack that'll most likely determine who wins this round. Para using the DNA tube for a little bit of protection. We see Jean-Marc ducking between those as well too. And here comes the rush attack out from Jean-Marc. And Jean-Marc, the aggression pays off. Put your foot on the pedal and pass on the left as Jean-Marc continues to control this match with Kid Cobra. And that's what you're looking for, Coney, is the versatility in play styles. We saw more defensive approaches from Jean-Marc earlier on in that winner's semifinals, but now it's Jean-Marc trying to dictate the pace of this one.
Yeah, no question. And again, I hate to harp on this much, but maybe Para doesn't feel comfortable in a Kid Cobra ditto. Maybe he doesn't feel as particularly comfortable using Springman, but Ninjara is just, every time I see him dashing away or trying to use the parry to dash in and out, it's just not functioning as well. I could see him doing so much more if he had the full dash of Kid Cobra or if he had faster arms, but Para just does not seem to be able to get anything going here. Jean-Marc is dictating the pace consistently.
Yeah, Jean-Marc extinguishing that rush attack from Para. That's a huge turn of events in this second round. Oh, but Jean-Marc, left arm goes limp. Para can't connect with the throw. That'll give Jean-Marc time to recover here. And now Jean-Marc, EE showing us where that patience comes into play. I can go ahead and slow it down if I need to.
Oh yeah, he already knows, like, listen, there's plenty of time on the clock. I'm in no rush. I have the advantage already as far as like game wins go. So I've been in this situation before, both players with the rush. That could be very decisive in who's going to get the leg up. We could potentially see something go to time, Jordan. I mean, very, very disciplined play from both players, but Para able to connect with a big time rush, and he needed that.
Para, the big time rush, followed by the charged roaster, and you see double roaster, Coney, coming out for Para in that second round. So you continue to experiment with Ninjara, and it seems like you found the tools at your disposal, but Jean-Marc, talk about a rude awakening to start this round. Rush attack able to connect, and already has a huge early advantage against Para. And now you get into a situation where you're playing with a sizable lead, Coney, and you have a lot of options as far as your play style.
He dashed right up in there with the full rush and let it rip immediately, and now he can sort of afford to back up just a little bit and force Para to come to him. If you'll notice, he actually is he's almost lapping Para. Para's been throwing out a lot more arms, though, and now he's getting stuck a little bit more. Para putting on a bit of a clinic here. Now Jean-Marc is in the back seat. He needs to find a way to build this rush as soon as possible. Otherwise, Para's going to let it go. But that roaster doing so much damage, 140 charge. Para might be able to let this happen.
Para still sitting on that rush attack. Felt like he had a couple of openings and tries to go with the counter rush, but it's too late. Jean-Marc able to beat Para to the draw, and Jean-Marc taking that second round. So Jean-Marc will go ahead and move up 2-0 over Para. And you're sitting there wondering, Para's got to win this round to make it 1-1. Knocked down Jean-Marc a few times, but still sat on that rush attack.
He tried to do exactly what Jean-Marc did to win their first game, right? He tried to take to the sky and just beat his rush with his own. Unfortunately, he got to the jump, but the punch was already there, okay? It was already ascending, already hitting him right on the mark. So Jean-Marc just not at all faltering, and you love to see that, right? But how about the conviction of Para to stick with this Ninjara? He believes his character can get the job done. He has quite the hill to climb. Maybe literally consider we're on Scrapyard. We'll see if he can get it done.
EE, do you know the definition of insanity?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I don't know if Ninjara here is the right pick. Again, listen, I'm not trying to roast Para. I'm not trying to come at him, but it didn't work the first 2 times, and I think Springman or even a Kid Cobra Mirror would have been better. This matchup does not look particularly good. It feels like Jean-Marc just has the evasiveness and the longer dashes to get away from Para consistently. Para doing a much better job this time, though. Has Jean-Marc's back against the wall, not going to get the full rush. Might eat one of his own, and he does.
Yeah, Jean-Marc, fine job of moving around that pillar and able to get right into the defenses of Para to get that rush attack off. Jean-Marc, though, just at about 20% health. Para's got a slight advantage. Plenty of time left in this one. No more pillars for cover at this point. Jean-Marc, 1 punch away from losing this first round, and Para able to connect through both of those roasters. So Jean-Marc might be insane, as some people say, but finding success here. Some people, Coney. Some people. I'm just saying.
I would love to eat my words. I really would. I would love to see Ninjara come all the way through. Let me be clear. This is out of love for Para. It's not out of any, I'm not trying to criticize the kid for no reason. He's doing an excellent job here as he lands another rush up against the wall. Jean-Marc not able to use that evasiveness for very long. And it feels like neither of them really using the verticality of this stage to great effect. Para finally taking the high ground, and I think it's because Jean-Marc has the rush. This might be a good means of defense against it. Excellent hit.
Para putting a stop to that rush attack. So it sounds like Para has really found a rhythm here with Ninjara EE, having no issues whatsoever in this second round.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, this has just been a complete clapback. Like, he just knew back against the wall. What do? I respond, and he responds in a major way, almost perfecting Jean-Marc, just getting completely obliterated on Scrapyard.
So Para making things interesting here. Goes ahead and takes a game off of Jean-Marc. So we'll get set for game 4 here in loser semifinals. And what seemed different that time here, Coney, is you're trying to figure out the difference in play style here or there, is it just seemed like Para was much more successful and accurate with their arms. We rarely saw a lot of those misses we were seeing in DNA Lab, and that didn't give Kid Cobra and Jean-Marc much room to operate because you're having to eat all these roasters punch after punch after punch.
I think it's a mix of the stage and the aggression that we saw from Para that was... I feel like he finally has sort of a feel of exactly what Jean-Marc is doing, where he's going to go, where he's going to dash, and because of that, the evasion that Jean-Marc we've seen so much isn't really his strong suit here. The problem now is via Dolce, Jean-Marc is able to back Para into the corner, and here we're going to see if Para can fight his way out.
And this is what's fascinating. Jean-Marc taking the middle part of that S shape of this stage where you have the most maneuverability left to right, which is what Kid Cobra wants to utilize. Para trying to dig himself out of that corner, able to do so. Both fighters with the rush attack ready to go, but EE, it's all about Jean-Marc and stage control here.
Absolutely. You see where he's trying to position himself, right? He's trying to force Para into these corners, these tight enclosures. So honestly, that advantage that Ninjara does have is almost negated, really not becoming a factor. Jean-Marc trying to take his time, but no, Para just going to drag him in and get right in his face. Gotta admire the gumption and the guts that this man is playing with. Tries to mix him up a little bit, but Jean-Marc not going to allow him to get the full benefit of that rush.
Won't argue with 130 off a rush attack. You're going to take whatever you can get right now, but Jean-Marc much more successful with their rush attack. 235 on Para. So Para now backed up in the corner. Jean-Marc coming a little bit closer here, Coney, and that's going to make him pay because Para able to clear some real estate.
Yeah, this is very impressive from Para. If you realize his back is in the corner, he has to not only evade, but he has to match punches with Jean-Marc over and over, and he's doing it despite being in an unfavorable position, maybe playing some rope-a-dope with Jean-Marc there, because I felt like Para's back was to the wall that entire game, and he's still outplaying him. This is nuts.
Para so quick to negate and counter everything that Jean-Marc was throwing out down the stretch. Jean-Marc switching things up and going with the Slamamander in that right arm. Let's see if that'll change things up here at all. Para still rocking both roasters at this point. Plenty of time left here. Rush attack coming out from Jean-Marc. Jean-Marc doing what he does best. 385 EE. Wow. That'll go ahead and open up this round.
I'm telling you, you want to get some maximum use off of your rush. There you go. Look no further. Jean-Marc, he is definitely striking right now. And this is probably what he was looking to get going in that last game, right? This is the control-based style that we've come to expect from him, especially on a stage like Via Dolce and Para. He is down to just a sliver, not too much going, still just swinging though. And I love the grab, so you already know this kid's not going to give up at any point in time, as he's shown by sticking with this Ninjara.
Para opening things up with the grab, but it's going to be the roaster that connects from Jean-Marc. And so Coney, that round, listen, this isn't AP arms here. It isn't very difficult. That 385 rush attack was the difference.
Yeah, no question. It comes down to the rush time and again, and now both of them holding on to it. You could tell that both of them want to make sure that it lands because it can be such a difference maker. Para, keeping his distance, has shown that he can fight himself, even if his back is to the wall, even if he's in the corner, he can sort of outmatch Jean-Marc sometimes. But that Slap-O-Mander, I think, is going to do great for him. The Chakram wasn't really doing as much, but that Slap-O-Mander might be able to clap him. You can see it coming all the way on the side, and it's actually avoiding the straight arms of Para here. I think that's an excellent choice.
Para trying to stay alive. This rush attack racks up 350. That'll go a long way towards forcing a Game 5. Jean-Marc trying to pull off a monumental upset against Para to advance to losers finals, trying to eliminate the second place finisher in the August 2020 North American Open. Jean-Marc and Para, both fighters nearing that 25% health mark. And EE once again, Jean-Marc trying to pin Para in a corner.
This is where Jean-Marc needs to strike. You got him in the corner. All things should be going on your side. Para, though, showing the resilience that we saw in that opening game and still was able to take it. Can he do it yet again and force the overtime? I think we're all eager to see just a sliver of health left. That Jean-Paul keeping his foot on the gas. Both players with the rush. Who's going to let it fly first? It's going to be Para, but Jean-Marc with the clap back. Great counter usage, and he's going to get the dub.
It's the evasion. It's the evasion. Again, Jean-Marc saw the rush. He knew that Para was going to do the jump into the dash, which makes him disappear and then reappear. Jean-Marc just casually steps to the side and throws it out. I'm telling you, it's the dash. That's the difference in this matchup. And Jean-Marc was just one step ahead there. That was tough for Para. Very tough.
And Coney, that's what we saw from Jean-Marc earlier in the winner's semifinals.
Yep.
Against Goof, was really waiting for Goof to throw out the rush attack and then counter. For the majority of that match, it was all about Jean-Marc being the aggressor. But we said before, this is someone that has a lot of variance in their play style and really switched that defensive mindset to go ahead and snatch the victory away from Para. And so EE, this is a big time upset right here, because coming into this, the best that Jean-Marc did in any of these North American Opens was 9th place in the August 2020 Open. So how about that? Jean-Marc, once again, taking the long route to try and get to grand finals. Let's take a look at the updated bracket here as Jean-Marc gives us more drama. So it'll be a rematch of the earlier winners semifinals between Jean-Marc and Goof. We'll see if Jean-Marc and the hot gloves can continue the role here. And so as we revisit this here, EE, it seemed like before Jean-Marc really struggled to find the ability to be aggressive against Goof, was really reacting most of the time. Do you feel like that'll be the key for Jean-Marc to be the one that dictates the pace of this match?
Well, listen, we're going to have to roll the dice and see what stages we get. That's going to be tremendous in deciding like where this really goes. Like obviously in their semis, hey, it went the distance. Okay. So we already know Goof capable of getting the W, but how about Jean-Marc? You said it best. Likes to take the long route to see some success and accomplish a few things. So this rematch, this opportunity, this is going to be something you really want to keep your eye on. It's going to be go a long way in determining who exactly could give Astro Ninja the best fight in grand finals.
Big thank you once again to Para. We always love Para out here in these competitions here, Coney. As we've said before, nothing but respect for Para. Has always given us a tremendous showing. So 5,000 My Nintendo Gold points will go to Para. So kudos once again to Para. All right, let's get set for this losers finals here. As we said before, Goof taking on Jean-Marc. And From Goof, we saw the Dr. Coil that really liked to play a patient game and really utilize the attributes of the stage, Coney. And I'm going to just go ahead and set you up because you've been saying it this afternoon. Stage, stage, stage.
That's it. That's really what it comes down to, especially if we're going to see Kid Cobra against Dr. Coil again. If you remember, cast your mind back to maybe an hour ago. I don't know. But a little while ago, and we saw Goof against Jean-Marc, and it was all about sparring ring. Anytime Jean-Marc got sparring ring, it was an easy dub. That's how he won the 2 games. But anytime it was anything other than that, I think the 2 options were, I think he lost once on Temple Grounds, if I'm not mistaken, and twice on Scrapyard. Things were so much harder for him. And I think the difference there is Jean-Marc is not able to really lock down Goof. Oh, no, actually, it was this stage. Because if you remember, the trampoline opened up, and Jean-Marc had no approach. So he has to be very careful in getting his grabs here, because if he blows open that trampoline, he's going to be in a world of trouble.
Yeah, and if I'm Goof, I'm going to go ahead and just blow up that trampoline. Let the party begin at this point. Yep. Make things much more difficult for Jean-Marc here. So we'll see how Jean-Marc handles the round stage of Mausoleum. No pillars to get in the way. And already Jean-Marc connecting with a nice little 1-2 against Goof, pulling out that Slamamander that brought success against Para. And all right, Jean-Marc, rush attack ready to go, mowing down Goof early on here at EE.
Yeah, this, and honestly, just the way he's already started things off, I mean, what a dominant performance. And think about this, if Jean-Marc gets past Goof, who's he face next? Astro Ninja. He's going to be well prepped and prepared to go against another top-level Coil.
They couldn't even wrap the mummy before that one. Jean-Marc, quick early victory against Goof here. So let's see if Jean-Marc can continue to apply the pressure. And that's the difference that stands out right now, Coney, is Jean-Marc. Oh, look at the evasion.
My God. He didn't even block. He didn't have to. He just dashed right through it.
Oh, my goodness. Goof. Definitely not a snake charmer here because Jean-Marc able just to avoid that rush attack completely with style. Jean-Marc getting back up. Goof still facing the deficit. And Coney, before I saw that brilliant display of defensive capabilities coming from Jean-Marc, I wanted to point out, we are seeing a much more aggressive Jean-Marc this time around.
Well, maybe not anymore. The trampoline has blown itself wide open, which means Goof can just put himself on the opposite end. He doesn't even have to worry about jumping because he can float right over the trampoline. That's 370 off of rush. Jean-Marc has to pray that this rush lands, or maybe he just holds on to it. But even still, if you do that, that means that Goof gets free reign to build as much rush as he wants on the other side of the stage. Jean-Marc's worst nightmare has come true as the trampoline is blown open. We'll see if he can adapt and overcome.
Yeah, Jean-Marc trying to use that trampoline to approach. Rush attack comes, though, able to connect. Don't sleep on it yet. 380. A little chip damage as well, too. Jean-Marc on even footing. Goof has a rush attack ready to go, but Jean-Marc can't block it, so Goof will take the second round. And my goodness, what an interesting turn of events on Mausoleum. Now that the trampoline is exposed, it gives Jean-Marc one more obstacle to deal with here at EE. Let's see how he counters, but already it seems like Jean-Marc is taking the long route, much like his journey through this tournament, to try and approach Goof here at EE.
He's not having a choice. The trampoline, like you just saw, like compare what we saw in the opening to where we are now. The trampoline is really affecting his ability to approach and continue to be aggressive. I think that's what was catching Goof off ground. You know what I'm saying? Now the fact that you have that trampoline out there, you know which way he's going to elect to approach, because if he comes through the center, he's going to be jumping. That's something that Goof's going to be looking to exploit and capitalize on. Both players with the meter right now, but Goof, just situational advantage, is going to go so far.
Yeah, both fighters trading off a couple of charged roasters to knock off some health here, but a pretty even match as we get close to the halfway mark. Both rush attacks coming out, and those will basically cancel each other out. So Jean-Marc, that has to be a win, though, in your book, Coney, because you're able to get a little bit closer for a moment.
Yeah, just for a second, you have to take the wins where you can get them. Every single yard counts in this game, so hopefully Jean-Marc can parlay that into a victory. I'm not sure if I used that word right, but we're going to let it ride.
You did.
Okay, good.
That absolutely sounded great. If I'm sitting watching this, I'm thinking that Coney sounds like a genius.
Good. Right. I'm glad we let that one go. But yeah, he's going to land the grab there, and Goof, unfortunately for Jean-Marc, it might be over for him. He does have the rush. He's going to let it go before Jean-Marc gets one of his own to counter, and Goof putting one on the board despite getting perfected in that first round. It just, the floor opened up, and from there on out, it was nothing but zeros.
Yeah, if I'm Goof, I'm buying a pretzel for the trampoline after that, though, because that's what really changed things up at the end of this one here, EE. That trampoline completely negated any approach that Jean-Marc was trying to do, and at that point made it so difficult for Jean-Marc to find those openings. And obviously, Goof understands the situation. I'm going to use my mobility and the fact that the stage plays to my favor to close it out.
I think what Jean-Marc can at least take away from that is the fact, like, okay, I know my more aggressive in-your-face style, it was working. Obviously, Mausoleum, just the layout of the stage when the trampoline makes its appearance, it does interfere with that. But depending on where we go next, he can re-implement the style and maybe tie things up one-on-one.
And what was fascinating as well, too, is Jean-Marc being much more aggressive, Coney. That's why I'm excited to see if they get a stage where there isn't this huge variable like the trampoline or something large like Scrapyard. And okay, maybe somewhat of a variable here, though, Coney, because you've talked about that bench and how really Dr. Coyle just ignores it.
Yeah, I don't know, because at first glance, if Jean-Marc can corner Goof into the other side, it's very easy to catch them in the narrow hook. As you can see right here, Jean-Marc is able to do that, but Goof doesn't have to worry about the table there in the center. Meanwhile, Jean-Marc does. He's going to have to jump over it, and I feel like this is the best spot possible for Jean-Marc where he is right now. But I don't know how much of a hindrance it's going to be to Coyle, just because she can just float right over that thing as Goof puts on an early lead.
Yeah, Goof with the throw tosses Jean-Marc down to the lower ground and continues to apply that pressure. Oh, but Jean-Marc able to slither in there and apply a little bit more pressure themselves. Rush attack, once again, a couple of air balls coming out from Goof. So Jean-Marc will try to connect on this rush attack, and certainly does. Mops up 300 damage, EE. That's how you get yourself back into this round.
No doubt about it, keeping things incredibly close, and this is what you want to see, right? You don't want to get in that situation where you're just trailing so far behind against Coyle. A lot of advantages you can argue on this stage, as Coney did allude to. But right now, it is Jean-Marc who is simply trying to set the pace, come out slanging, not doing too bad of a job.
The Fun Chuck able to connect on Jean-Marc, so Goof with a slight health advantage, and Goof once again, Coney, closing things out with a rush attack.
Yeah, you saw it right there. He was trying to throw out those arms a little bit to the left, hoping Goof would dash off that way or maybe go off to the side, but Goof is not giving it to him. Goof is holding his ground, not dashing in either direction, because that Jean-Marc has to sort of recalibrate his aim. That's where the top-level arms play really shows up. You have to not only predict where your opponent's going to go, or sometimes where they're not going to go.
A couple of dunks back and forth from both fighters to open things up in the second round. Jean-Marc with another grab on Goof. So Jean-Marc trying to really close the gap here once again. And this is what we're seeing here, EE. Now Jean-Marc has gone away from going left and right and more north and south with those dashes to close the ground.
Yeah, love the fact that he was really using those grabs to perfection, and just look at that, just slithering himself right in there. And now you see Goof, he is all but done for. This has Jean-Marc's name written all over. What a great response he has really put up, creating a little bit of distance and just 1-2 combination to end that round.
Jean-Marc with another impressive victory in this round. So now we go to a third and decisive round to see if Jean-Marc can even things up, or Goof trying to build a huge lead here in losers finals. Rush attack early from Goof, that's no good. Jean-Marc trying to get closer. That's been the theme here on Buster Beach. No social distancing here as Jean-Marc tries to get up close and apply that pressure. Goof, however, trying to back up, connects with the left roaster. Funchuck gets knocked down to the ground, and Coney, Jean-Marc has really seemed to have found a comfortable play style here against Goof.
Yeah, I think I thought that it was going to be side to side in terms of where he's at his best, but no, he seems to be at his best when he's sitting at the head of the table with Goof on the other side. Unfortunately, Goof starting to rally back. We'll see if Jean-Marc can land this rush. It feels like if the match goes longer than 20 seconds, Goof is probably going to win it. Jean-Marc is just coming through him like a buzzsaw, and those are the matches he's winning. If he can just run over Goof again and again, that rush might change things, though, here. Hopefully, if he can land a couple more hits, he might be able to take this game.
Jean-Marc trying to turn the tide with that rush attack has played brilliantly over the last 15 seconds to get back into this one. Goof, though, huge connection with the left, trying to lead up into the rush attack combo. Remember, you will not be KO'd by chip damage, so Jean-Marc has to be flawless the final 25 seconds if they want to extend this match. However, Goof trying to close things out here. Can't connect with either that roaster or Funcheck. Jean-Marc has a rush attack ready to go, but Goof brilliant display of defensive capabilities, and now with 7 seconds left, that's gonna do it. All Goof has to do is just wait this out, and the left roaster to the face of Jean-Marc will give Goof their second game, just one game away from moving on to grand finals. And EE, once again, Goof just doing enough at the end of this one, and really to Coney's point here, EE, the longer the match goes, the more it seems to favor Goof.
Oh, absolutely. And that was just brilliant play the last 5 seconds. Let me just go ahead and let my rush go just to threaten you, right? You're at such a low percentage. It's like, I'm not even trying to close it out. I'm just trying to keep you at bay. So whether I win by time or off of your mistake, which we did happen, Goof all but had that one wrapped up.
Well, last time these two faced off against each other, Coney, this was the same story. We saw Goof go up 2-0. Jean-Marc clawed back to tie things up and force a Game 5. Will that be the case now, or will Goof reign supreme in Temple Grounds and move along to grand finals? Goof right now, no changes, going with that roaster and Funchuck. Jean-Marc, though, we see the change here, Coney, going with that Birdchuck.
We saw him use Birdchuck earlier to great effect, getting that freeze into the rush, sometimes into the grab, which does just so well for Kid Cobra because it gets that extra damage. Have to see if he's able to land it here. Has not had a lot of success thus far. I think Temple Grounds, unfortunately, is not going to favor him as much as Sparring Ring did in that early set, in the first set that they played in Winners. So I'm not sure how this is going to go for Jean-Marc early on. It does not seem good. He tries to get behind the pillar for the rush, but nothing doing as Goof puts himself up in a great lead.
Yeah, Goof doing a fine job of just blasting through that pillar to get that rush attack to connect. So Goof with a very comfortable lead. 45 seconds left. Jean-Marc will really have to play aggressive, but regardless of what Jean-Marc is throwing out, Goof is just reading, sending right back in the direction of Jean-Marc. Now it's just one hit away for Goof. They can land it. They'll go ahead and take the first round. Jean-Marc trying to hide behind the pillar. Rush attack ready to go for both of them. Jean-Marc tries to throw out the rush attack. However, it's going to be Goof that finally connects here. So Goof taking the first round, and you like that finish there, Coney.
Yeah, you saw them just throwing arms back and forth. Whoever was going to land it was going to get a considerable lead. Obviously, Goof was going to win the round if he landed one, but meanwhile, Jean-Marc, if he landed a one hit off that rush, he might have been just an inch away from winning. Fortunately for him, it was not meant to be, and the Birdchuck is packed away once again as we're back to the double straight arms.
So Goof, what we've seen here, EE, has built up some early leads, and when Goof can do that, my goodness, does it change things for Jean-Marc, because now Goof just reads and reacts to everything that Jean-Marc is throwing out.
And that's his natural habitat too, right? Like, he wants you to be in a position where you have to come to him, you have to play the catch-up game. So you allow Goof to get these strong starts. You're digging yourself in a hole that's just so hard to climb out of. And we've seen Jean-Marc, to his credit, he's made some miraculous runs we've seen throughout this bracket, but Goof looking a little too solid and maybe too determined to get that rematch and head to grand finals, where we know Astro Ninja is awaiting.
So Goof with a comfortable lead here over Jean-Marc. This victory here will push Goof to grand finals. Jean-Marc trying to avoid getting perfect again, but that'll do it. So Goof, go ahead and give me that yellow dot and the victory as Goof sweeps Jean-Marc. No drama this time around between these two fighters, and setting up the stage for our grand finals. So takeaways from that here, Coney, it seemed like Goof really taking advantage of these stages that we saw with Mausoleum, obviously Temple Grounds, but was able to do just enough defensively against Jean-Marc to get this 3-0 sweep.
I don't want to run the record out. I don't want to say the same thing over and over, but you saw it. We all saw what happened, right? He got Temple Grounds. He got stages he got Mausoleum. I mean, Goof just really played to the stages, and the strength of Dr. Coyle, who is just the strongest character in the game, and you see why right there, can adapt her playstyle so well. And even on a stage like Buster Beach, where it seemed like Jean-Marc might have had a shot, Dr. Coyle is able to adapt, is able to change things up enough, and Goof is just able to play so expertly that Jean-Marc is constantly having to change pace. So nice attempt to Jean-Marc, has made it super far into this bracket, but unfortunately that is where his run is going to end.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket. By the way, we have our grand final set here. It'll be Astro Ninja, who's had a chance to just put their feet up and have a glass of lemonade as the losers bracket played out. Goof will face off against Astro Ninja, a repeat of our winners final. Big shout out to Jean-Marc, though, giving us a lot of fantastic games. Jean-Marc will also take home 5,000 My Nintendo gold points. And so most likely here, EE, going to be a Dr. Coil Ditto match. And we saw both of them go with those explosive mechanics of double nades last time. I imagine we might see the same thing. And if that's the case, is there any answer that Goof might have for Astro Ninja to try and avoid a sweep here?
Well, for Goof, I mean, what you're really looking for to get done is like, how did I get past my last opponents, right? I jumped out the gate early and got that percentage advantage. That was the key to victory for Goof, and it allowed him to just control the tempo, keep the pace at kind of where he wants it to be, you coming to me. For Astro Ninja, he's almost the same way, right? Like, this is truly the epitome of a mirror match. So Astro Ninja just showing, like, in Winners Finals, he just does it a little bit better. So Goof gonna have to elevate to another level if he wants to win this.
So Astro Ninja's only game he's lost was that one game to par. He swept his way through bracket 1 on his way to the finals, and now swept Goof in Winners Finals. So Astro Ninja has a chance to close things out in three-peat. But early on has the advantage, going with the double toaster, surprisingly, as Goof goes with the double nades. Astro Ninja has that rush attack ready to go, hiding far behind those pillars, and that's what stands out to me, Coney, is Astro Ninja so good with their spacing.
Yeah, is able to use sort of the fully extended distance, the full range of their arms in such a way that either they're going to hit you at the very tip of the arm, or they're not going to hit you at all, but no harm, no foul, going to retract it and be just fine. Meanwhile, Goof able to land a couple hits, doing pretty well, putting Astro Ninja in the corner. I think Goof wants to land one or two more hits before that rush lets go, decides to let it pop, but unfortunately not going to land anything off it.
Goof with the large bub. You figure that'll power through some of those toasters that we see thrown out by Astro Ninja. Astro Ninja with the rush attack. That gets blocked by Goof. So Goof with the slight advantage as we get close to the 20-second mark. Oh, but a huge connection by Astro Ninja to give them the lead. Goof doing a fine job of hanging in there. Astro Ninja trying to bob and weave and close this out. And Astro Ninja yet again, another critical connection. Goof has a rush attack ready to go. Will it deploy? And it gets gobbled up as well too, EE. So now you lose the rush attack for the second round as Astro Ninja gets the KO.
Astro Ninja knew what he was doing there because of where his percent was. He knew there was a chance Goof was going to throw out that rush, as we become accustomed to seeing him put it out there and try and snake that one back. But no, Astro Ninja committing and getting rewarded big time, and Goof loses his rush for it. That is a tough one to deal with.
Double bub for Goof. So a couple of scoops of vanilla ice cream. Nothing special coming in, though. But those are some big, hefty scoops. The ones your grandma gives you. As we get set here, Goof has that rush attack ready to go and a slight lead over Astro Ninja. This is where you want to be here, Coney. You want to be in the driver's seat early on.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that. Not only did the rush not land, you got grabbed out of it, which is the most damage you could have asked for. Just everything seems to be coming up Astro Ninja, not just in this match, but throughout the tournament. If you remember his earlier sets with Para, and now Astro Ninja going to let the rush fly. He doesn't necessarily need to land any hits because he's going to get a little bit of chip damage, and he's still in a very comfortable spot as these guys go face to face here for just a moment.
And Astro Ninja doing such a fine job of avoiding all three bubs that came out from Goof and was able to counter with a connection. 3 more bubs coming out, but Astro Ninja just being so patient. And that's what it is once again. When Astro Ninja has the lead, they do such a good job of just playing that defensive game and looking for their openings.
Goof is on the other side of the gameplay he typically likes to bring out to the table, right? Having to play from behind, and that's something Astro Ninja has perfected. We see the rush coming in. That's going to close the gap a little bit, but we're down to under 10 seconds, Jordan. It is ticking away, and that rush is going to go ahead and say, don't worry about the time, baby. I got the hands.
Yeah, Astro Ninja reading the throw attempt coming out from Goof, bobs to the left, throws out the rush attack, and Astro Ninja takes the very first game, and now they are 2 games away from getting a three-peat here. And Coney, we saw some glimpses from Goof of making this a very competitive match, but you almost have to play flawless against Astro Ninja, because if you have that one slip up, Astro Ninja knows how to find that opening and make you pay.
It's certainly closer than it was in the last set. If you remember, it was just sort of a wash. It was was maybe a 3-minute match, all things told. But Goof seems to be coming at this one a little bit better. The problem that I see here, though, is that historically, Astro Ninja only gets better as the set progresses. If you're going to beat him, you got to do it early. Like another certain Smash player we know by the name of MK Leo, he's getting the same sort of vibes where it just feels like if you're not beating him quickly, you're not winning at all. And I think that story's being told right here as he lands the entire rush.
Astro Ninja making quick work of Goof here in our second game. Goof going with those double bubs. They're big, but they're also very slow, and it seems like Astro Ninja here, EE, using the speed advantage of their arms to their advantage, but Goof able to connect with a critical rush attack here.
Yeah, needed to get any kind of damage he could, so we'll take it every single time. But right now, you're correct. Like, the speed advantage of his arms is big, not to mention he has those containers to kind of weave around and hide and maybe match some of his approaches as well. Goof with just a sliver left, he can ill afford to make a mistake. And that's one of the things that's just so difficult. Somebody like Astro Ninja, you have to play perfect against. Yeesh. But can you do it is the question. And more often than not against this guy, you just can't.
Coney, how about that left nade to close things out from Astro Ninja?
The nade is nasty. We saw it just take away Goof's entire rush in the first game, and there we see just why it's being placed so well. Not only do you have to worry about the first hit, but that second hit coming out too. And I'm kind of surprised it's on, oh, never mind, it's on the other arm. I was going to say, not using it for the third arm, but it is, as you see right there. Right now, Goof does have the full rush, trying to back Astro Ninja in the corner. But one thing that we've seen is Astro Ninja does not get hit by rushes. It's just not happening.
No, does a great job of not giving up big plays, as we like to say here. You really have to chip away at Astro Ninja and really hope that you can get your rush attack to connect and wait for a chance for Astro Ninja to give you an opening. But the problem is here, EE, my man doesn't open the doors. He's not open for business right now.
He keeps that bolt on that lock pretty tight, and that is the reason that you're seeing Goof just struggle so much. Now, obviously, both players with the rush, this could be an opportunity for Goof. Just chip away at the disadvantage that you're in. But for Astro Ninja, you got to be thinking, he's looking for that closing blow, not going to get the grab, instead the hands away. So this is actually big for Goof. Get yourself on the board, capitalize on this situation, don't let it go to waste. Astro Ninja still waiting in the wings with his rush, could strike at any time.
One more pillar left as scientists cheer on this fantastic matchup, but it's Astro Ninja with the rush attack, and then Astro Ninja gonna back up a little bit. No reason to deviate from your game plan. Why would you change up what's been working for you so well? Astro Ninja moving to the right. 10 seconds left, but the left-handed nade connects. And Astro Ninja, there's a reason why many people call him the greatest. Now up 2-0 over Goof in our grand finals. Just one game away from the three-peat here. And Astro Ninja here, Coney, just so accurate, so patient. You see all the technicalities as to why Astro Ninja is truly at the top of his game.
I think Astro Ninja was thrilled when he saw that Goof was getting into this. Not because Goof is a poor player, not because Goof doesn't have the chance of beating him, but I think Goof's chances are a lot slimmer. I think Astro Ninja is so well-versed in this mirror match, and you're seeing it over and over. The stage doesn't matter. The arms don't matter. And Goof says, all right, you let Dr. Quail let me throw things out a little bit. I don't know if this is a winner's choice, but it's certainly a fun one. Let's see how Mechanica does.
This is for the fans, boys. This is for the fans right now, and I love to see it.
Goof trying to prove to people that Mechanica isn't just a punching bag filled with nuts and bolts. Really wants to just showcase what this character can possibly do at the highest levels of competition. Astro Ninja changing with a bit of a change-up here. However, a huge hitbox, as we mentioned before, and already Astro Ninja, no issues whatsoever. Flirting with perfection. Gonna throw Mechanica and smash the glass. And Astro Ninja, rush attack ready to go. And, well, there's a reason why many people said Mechanica, you might want to just sit in the stands and watch. So Astro Ninja with a perfect against Goof here. One more round for Astro Ninja, and that'll do it to claim a third championship. Let's see if Mechanica can pull out a miracle here.
Poor girl, man. Mechanica was very hyped when the game came out, was often considered on the very lower end of character strength, but, you know, had her mains, had her sort of specialists that were able to perform and do great. But Dr. Coil, coming out late in ARMS meta and still defining it so well, has made this exceptionally difficult. This is just a very difficult matchup with a huge character pretty slow, all things considered. You can eat those hits, as you saw the uncharged punches, but Astro Ninja is just going to take a victory lap, I think, on this one.
Yeah, Astro Ninja, as you said before, just cruising around right now. He's got the checkered flag in their hand. It's just a matter of time at this point here. The greatness of Astro Ninja on full display. Goof, doesn't matter what you throw out. Trying to make this one close, though. Hold on. Goof isn't ready to let Astro Ninja celebrate quite yet. Astro Ninja just one connection away from getting to royalty when it comes to ARMS competitive action.
Yeah.
Let's pop off with that. Astro Ninja, 1, 2, make it 3 championships for the Mechanica beater, as Astro Ninja and Dr. Coil will go ahead and claim another Open Championship here. So what else can you say here, EE? Astro Ninja just showing it doesn't matter who you throw. Kid Cobra, Dr. Coils, Mechanicas. I got an answer for every problem you're throwing my way.
Well, he also just showed us a new game mode, because that looked like a speed run to me. I mean, good Lord. Like, I felt like we could barely finish a sentence before just half the help was going at the end of that, man. Good stuff to Astro Ninja, as dominant as ever. But I got to give props to all of our competitors. They all showed up. They showed out. But, you want to talk about consistency and dominance. Look no further than Astro Ninja. Another level.
Let's take a look at the final bracket here. Astro Ninja, your champion of the ARMS North American Open October 2020. Add that to the trophy case for the August Open 2020 and for the April Open 2020. A 3-0 sweep over Goof. Goof will go home with 5,000 My Nintendo Gold points, but Astro Ninja, your champion, will take home 10,000 My Nintendo Gold points. And Coney, when you look at games that come out and the competitive nature of them in those communities, there are individuals that rise to the top with historic performances, with a track record. We just saw that with Astro Ninja, with what they've done over the last 6 months here in 2020, claiming these 3 Open Championships.
It feels as though in a lot of these single player fighting games or esports or whatever you want to call them, eventually there will come a person that rises to the top in such a fashion that is just, it's like the best of their time. And you even see it in some real sports like tennis. I mean, you've got the big 3 that have sort of dominated the sport throughout its lifetime. I think that's what's happening here. Is Astro Ninja just looks unparalleled as we see him. Para is giving him a run for his money consistently, but Para has not yet found the answer to take sets off of him consistently. And because of that, Astro Ninja got a 3-peat here. He only dropped 1 game to Para. It was a lot closer earlier, and we thought that Para might have had a little bit of something secret early on, but eventually it came very clear that Astro Ninja is just on a different level, and I think that's what we saw today.
Certainly is. So congratulations once again to Astro Ninja, your champion of the ARMS North American Open October 2020. And a big shout out once again to EE, Coney. Great job, you guys. Always terrific working with you. And also a huge thank you to all of our hardworking staff behind the scenes that make this possible, but especially you for tuning in. Make sure you continue to check out Nintendo Versus and Nintendo.com for all of your Nintendo competitive action as we continue along with the Autumn Open here of Nintendo Versus action. From all of us here, thank you once again. We'll catch you all next time.